Hello, everybody. Welcome to this. I think this is the fifth live session. So we've already got some questions in here. Madam, non-priority occupation ਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਟਾਈਮ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ Okay, so non-priority occupation ਦੇ visas already ਆਣੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਨੇ We've in fact received a visa for a marketing specialist yesterday and ਹੋਰ ਵੀ occupations ਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਮਿਕਸਡ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਨਾਨ ਪ੍ਰਾਇੋਰਟੀ ਐਂਡ ਪ੍ਰਾਇੋਰਟੀ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਹਫਤੇ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਵੀਜ਼ਾਸ ਮੈਮ ਮੇਰਾ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੀ ਨੋਮੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੀ ਇਨਵਾਈਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਆਪਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਥੀਏਟਰ ਟੈਕਨੀਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਸੋ OT technician professionals are basically medical professionals, health professionals, and so far, Australia the किसी भी state ने offshore professional occupations the invitation round nahi kadya hai. We expect rather there are announcements that South Australia and NSW will conduct its invitation round in the first week of March. So ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ medical professionals health या construction related occupations and other non-priority occupations as well, they can expect to get an invitation in the first week of March. Ma'am, mixed crop farmer 490, which and NSW the chance good. Mixed crop farmers agriculture is an occupation in demand in NSW, so you definitely have you stand a chance to get an invitation. Any other question around here? Ma'am, 491 visa as a welder offshore July 25 launch ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ grant well ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ estimated processing time DHA ਦੱਸ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ for a 491 that's around 28 months we do expect ਕਿ ਇਹ processing time significantly will come down but as of now since you've just lodged the application in 25 I think ਤੁਸੀਂ 1.5 ਸਾਲ ਤੱਕ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚਲੋ Hello, ma'am, but there's no question. Please ask questions. These are just about the same questions again. So, in the meantime, while we get some more questions, jidda ke main apne video vich bhi share kita hai, the state of NSW has put up an announcement well in advance that it will be conducting an invitation round for subclass 190 within the first week of March. And South Australia, the har mahine the first week which invitation round honda hai for both subclass 190 and 491. So far, offshore the round South Australia ne haje tikkan nahi kita. We do expect at least from March with South Australia offshore applicants no invitations degi. Ma'am, good afternoon. Aapko NT 491 any update, ma'am? Till now, I did not heard my. Okay, so Northern Territory with JD direct applications lagyan si the state of Northern Territory has already started processing those applications, and we do hope that in about a couple of months' time, tonu decisions we aane shuru ho jange. Okay, ma'am, 491 visa is a poultry farm manager. ANSCO code and lodged on 4th of July 2023. Okay, well, so your visa should be around the corner anytime. I do know ਸਾਡੇ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ clients ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ agriculture related ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ like mixed crop farmer, livestock farmers, vegetable grower, dairy farmer or poultry farmers ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ July 23 ਦੀ application ਲੱਗੀ and they also seem to be little concerned ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ estimated processing time global published है DHA ਵੱਲੋਂ that is 28 months and their application has already exceeded that time so they are worried about the application so nothing to worry we do expect the visas to come through soon because ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕਰਕੇ visas ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ grant ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ priority occupation ਤੇ ਨਾ non priority ਤੇ ਇਸ ਹਫਤੇ ਤੋਂ visas grant होने शुरू हो गए ने हेलो मैम लास्ट ईयर नवंबर में हमने आपके जरिए फार्मेसी टेक्नीशियन के लिए अप्लाई किया है क्या इस साल इनविटेशन का चांसेस है यस डेफिनेटली प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड अभी तक ऑफशोर एप्लीकेंट्स का प्रोफेशनल ऑक्यूपेशंस का राउंड नहीं हुआ यस वी रिसीव्ड सम इनविटेशंस फ्रॉम क्वींसलैंड फ्रॉम वेस्टर्न ऑस्ट्रेलिया बट दोज आर फॉर ट्रेड ऑक्यूपेशंस So far, the Australian states have yet not conducted any invitation round for 190 or 491 for professional occupation. So, since you're a pharmacy technician, you are a professional, and the invitation rounds for professionals are expected in the first week of March, next week onwards. मैम मेरा मेडिकल प्रोफेशन है, मेरी जुलाई 2024 अप्लाई कीता CNSW and SA फॉर नॉमिनेशन ਲਈ पर pre invite नहीं आया. Okay, so well, I just answered that. Medical professional, I don't know what exactly occupation is, but you are a professional, so you should be getting an invitation within the next week. Thank you for the clarification. You're welcome. Mixed crop farmer, the invitation, the possibility hai. I already answered that. Agriculture occupations, NSW, which demand, which again, right now, the state of NSW is going to conduct an invitation round for 190 only. So, जिन्हां दे 190 ਦੇ points बन रहे ने, ਉਹ ਉਮੀਦ ਰੱਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ next week ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ invitation ਮਿਲ ਜਾਏ, but 491 ਦਾ ਹਜੇ NSW ਨੇ announce ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ invitation round ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈ. Any other question? Please try to send out different questions. If I already answered kar ditte questions, please try not to repeat it so that we can cover a wider range of topics. Mixed crop farmer, the invitation already answered that. Ma'am, OT technician, I have already answered that. I do not see any other invitation, any other question. All right, another question. Ma'am, lodged my EOI in April 2023, not getting invitation, yet occupation complementary therapist. Now, complementary health therapist is a health-related occupation. And जितना कि मैं होने दसे है कि professional, offshore professionals ਨੂੰ ਹਜੇ ਤੱਕਨ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ invitation ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ ਹੈ, but we do expect the invitations to start from the first week of March. Ma'am, when we are we expecting state nomination as offshore massage therapist? Absolutely yes. In fact, massage therapist the direct applications open huya si for offshore applicants by Northern Territory as well, but I think within 48 hours the Northern Territory had enough applications for massage therapists, so that occupation was removed from the list. I think you probably seem to have missed that. But definitely, jithe bhi toda occupation demand which hai, whichever state it's demand in, you can expect to get an invitation whenever they start an offshore round, which should be beginning in the first week of March. Ma'am, I have done LLB and I'm a practicing advocate solicitor in India with more than 8 years of experience. Okay, so I'm imagining that you want to know about your eligibility. See, as far as lawyers, solicitors are concerned, they have to route their application through the legal practitioner board. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ skills assessment ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਥੋੜੀ different ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ examinations ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ. So lawyers have to first of all see which state they are targeting, and then ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ board, legal practitioner board ਦੇ examination clear ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ visa apply ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ. But there are a lot of lawyers who can nominate paralegal occupations जिंदे विच उन्हां नूं कोई exams clear करन दी लोड़ नहीं है. So if you're somebody who's not practicing in the court but is doing legal work for companies, or working as a legal officer, legal researcher, or probably a contract administrator, whatever, or even if you're working as a mediator, then you can be eligible without clearing the exams. Hello ma'am, I have 8 years of experience as an architectural draft person and a positive skills assessment with 75 points including state points out of 10. So yes, you are sitting at pretty good points. You fall under the construction occupations, and 65 points are good enough for you to fetch a nomination. 75 points are good enough for you to fetch a nomination. Ma'am, can we lodge EOI for more than one visa type for the same state? Yes. Except for Victoria, you can lodge your EOI for 2 different, or 3 different visa subclasses. Like in the same EOI, you can lodge the EOI for 189, 190, and 491, provided your occupation is eligible for 189. Otherwise, you can just go ahead and lodge it for 190 and 491. But invitations aren't coming uh, in at 75 right now. 75 is sufficient, and which states have demand? Okay, so invitations are not coming at 75. This is your question. Even 100 te bhi invitations nahi aa rahe. So the point is, it's not ke 75 points se is wale invitation nahi aa rahe. Is wale professionals no nahi aaye ne invitation for the migration year 25-26, and as announced by NSW, they will start in the first week of March. Before invitation, if I get pregnant, then what? Then will cause problem in my visa profile. Okay, so well, what happens is ke ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ invitation ਆਂਦਾ ਹੈ, you put up your application for a nomination, then the nomination is approved, and it is followed by an invitation to apply for a visa, and within 2 months you have to apply for your visa apply ਕਰਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ medicals issue ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, and usually the doctors do not conduct the x-rays on pregnant women. So the advice usually given by the impaneled doctor is that you wait for the child to be born, only then we will conduct the medical. So the only downside is that it can delay your visa processing time. When 491 or 190 rounds for offshore expected, I already answered that. First week of March, 28 February. Today is the last day of February. Kal to 1st March shuru ho jayegi, and next week which you can expect invitations to come through. Hi ma'am, recently got positive skills assessment from CAAN Wings and pharmacy technician. Is it mandatory to revise PT score for gaining more points, as I have 66 in writing on rest? Okay, well, see, my answer to that is, if you can improve your points, you should. It is recommended that you try to score as high as you can. If you think you can get a better score in your English proficiency, go for it. But at the same time, having said that, ਇਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹਾਈ ਪੁਆਇੰਟਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਨਵੀਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ. ਹੁਣ ਫੋਰ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਐਨਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਲਾਈਆਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੈਰੀ ਕਲੀਅਰਲੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਤੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ please, those with high points, please do not expect that we will prioritize your application. So as long as the state's criteria remains 65 points and 6 months each, this is what you need to have. But obviously having a higher score can never be a disadvantage, only an advantage. Hi ma'am, recently got positive. Okay, I already answered that. I have a positive skills assessment and they showed me with 5 years of experience. However, I have 8 years of experience and the points are calculated based on the skills assessment. Okay, so I am assuming that you have probably nominated an occupation where you have a bachelor's degree which is not highly relevant to your work experience, which is why 8 years which 3 saal deduction ho gayi hai, and deemed date, that is to claim points, they have given you 5 years for which you can claim 10 points. So 3 saal jehde tusi confused hege wo mandatory deduction hondi hai in case your qualification is not highly relevant to your work experience. Hi ma'am, I have 80 points including state nomination. I have done OET B grade, all modules, so you're good to go. That is equivalent to 7 each, so that's a good score. Ma'am, what's the typical average time between EOI lodgement and state nomination? Now, I wish I could answer that for you. For some clients, it's hardly a few days. For some clients, it can be a few years. For example, a lot of clients are waiting since end of 2023 because the invitation rounds have been very, very scanty. But for example, in February 2023, everybody who had a positive skills assessment was able to very easily get apply for the state nomination right away. Ma'am, how much longer should we wait? We filed in 2024. The invitation hasn't arrived. Okay, so like I said, since the end of 2023, we have seen very few invitations coming through. We haven't seen bulk offshore invitations coming through, but as NSW has announced that it will start with at least the 190 invitations in the first week of March, and the state of South Australia is also going to conduct an invitation round in the first week of March. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. Ma'am, Western Australia issued invitation for retail and hospital with 80 and 85 points, but I have 90 points for 491 offshore. Still waiting for invitation. So I'm probably assuming that Western Australia, जो तुसी गल कर रहे हो, this is for onshore applicants. Once they invite offshore applicants, 90 points is a very good score, and you should be getting an invitation. Hello, ma'am. What about private tutor? Okay, so I think I already answered that in my previous videos. For this migration year, which ends on 30th of June 2026, the chances for private tutor invitations look a little slim, but from 1st July onwards, we can expect private tutors to get invitations. Hi, ma'am. Can we expect invitation rounds for information and organization professionals, NEC, at least in the month of March for offshore? Definitely. Yes, you can definitely expect that. It's a professional occupation and a very competitive occupation, and there are not many EUIs. So, yes, you should be able to get an invite once they start with the offshore applicants. How can I check my self-assessment by myself? I mean, I don't understand what this question is. How can I check my self-assessment by myself? Please clarify your question. I'm not able to understand that. I'll appreciate if you can reword this. Hello. Okay, well, we already answered that. Any more questions? Should I do PT for more? Okay, I already answered this. Any other questions that I have not taken up so far? Anything that's not been covered here? I'd like to have those questions. Okay. What about pharmacy technician? I just answered that. Pharmacy technicians is a health-related occupation, priority occupation. Once the offshore nominations start, pharmacy technicians should be able to get their invitation, a nomination invitation. Can you tell me, ma'am, how many EUI for OT technicians? So no, we don't have access to that data. We cannot tell you, or let's say the DHA does not release that kind of data as to how many EUIs are there in the pool for a certain occupation. I have a diploma in civil engineering and experience as an architectural draft person. Many people have submitted EUIs with 75 points. Competition is fierce. Well, yes, there are a lot of civil engineering drafts persons or architectural draft persons, but since these occupations fall within the construction industry, there is always a dearth of people falling in these occupations, and getting an invitation at 75 points should not be a problem. मैम जिना स्टेट ने किसी ऑक्यूपेशन ਨੂੰ eliminate ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸੇਮ ऑक्यूपेशन ਨੂੰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਐਡ ਕਰਨਗੇ absolutely yes so ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਮਤਲਬ this goes in fact the state of South Australia surprisingly added so many occupations this time that were not there earlier, but unfortunately since the quota allocated to them was very less, they had to remove those new occupations as well as some of the old occupations they were always retained on their list. So definitely for the migration year 25-26, which will begin on the 1st of July, these occupations will be added. Hi ma'am, PT test valid for how many years? 3 years. So see, although your TRFs, all your test report forms, whether it's PT, IELTS, TOEFL, CELPEP, whatever, they say that the test validity is for 2 years. But if you are using your score specifically for Australia skilled migration, the validity is for 3 years. If you're using the same score for Canada immigration or for Australian student visa, the validity remains 2 years. But if you're applying for using it for Australia skilled migration, the validity is for 3 years. Please tell me invitation regarding ambulance officer. So ambulance officer is also a health related occupation. Let the invitations begin in the first week of March, and you should be hearing from them. You should be hopefully getting an invitation. The states looks at experience and studies. If you leave points aside, I'm confused whether I'll get an invite with 75 points. I didn't get your question, but okay, if you think you don't stand good chances for getting an invitation at 75 points. That is so not true. Please look at CaanWings Instagram or Facebook page, and we regularly share the visas granted at 70, 75 points in 6 bands each. Obviously, they have got their nominations at such points, which is why the visas have been granted. Ma'am, I searched an employer. Sorry, this has moved. The question is gone. मुझे ये पूछना था कि जैसे मेरा एक्सपीरियंस के पॉइंट इंक्रीज हुए हैं ईओएम में, स्किल्स असेसमेंट कम एक्सपीरियंस की है, कोई इशू तो नहीं है? नो. सो ऑब्वियसली एट द टाइम ऑफ स्किल्स असेसमेंट मे बी यू आर सिटिंग एट 3 years and let's say, or you're sitting at 4 years and 5 months. With the passage of time आपके 5 साल हो जाते हैं. तो जब आपके 5 साल हो जाएंगे तो ईओआई में ऑटोमेटिकली आपके पॉइंट्स एड अप हो जाएंगे फ्रॉम 5 points to 10 points, even though your skills assessment, that is why in your skills assessment they never say कि आपको पॉइंट्स इस डेट से इस डेट के लिए मिल रहे हैं. आपका लिखा होता है कि आप पॉइंट्स क्लेम कर सकते हैं फ्रॉम दिस डेट विच इज द डीम डेट. उसके बाद का सारा पॉइंट एक्सपीरियंस क्लेम कर सकते हैं. What's the maximum time it takes after 491 file is submitted? Okay, so as I told you, it's the published time says 28 months. It could be sooner, it could be later. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening. How you are doing? When can I expect an invitation for 75 points? Program and project manager, already answered that. From first week of March onwards. Ma'am, I find an employer who has an electrician company and I have experience in accounts department. Can he sponsor me? No. You are somebody who has experience in the accounts, and your employer has an electrician related position, I'm assuming. So no, he cannot sponsor you unless he offers you a position within the accounts department of the electrical related company. Hi ma'am, I've applied for EOI in 2022, reassessed my skills assessments from CAAN Wings. Right now I have 75 points. Should I go for NATI as well to increase my points? Okay, so like I said, there are some consultants who kind of insist that you should increase your points, go ahead and score 8 each, even take your NATI. Now, I don't think that really changes or kind of improves your chances of getting a nomination, because once the nominations start to come in, they will come in at even 65 points, 70 points, and 75 points. Having said that, if you think you can comfortably clear NATI or you want to clear NATI, go ahead, it will fetch you 5 points. But it is not an assurance that if you clear your NATI, your chances of getting an invitation would improve. Ma'am, I applied for the internal auditor, but the passing of the days, some states have deleted the occupation. It creates hurdles to get an invitation. So internal auditor is an MLTSSL occupation. You may also want to consider applying for surplus 189. And it doesn't really matter even if your occupation is not available on a lot of states. Even if it's available in one state, that's good enough. You could be getting an invitation from there. डोंट वरी, सारिਆਂ ਨੂੰ 1 मार्च ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਨਵੀਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ ਮੈਡਮ ਦੇ ਕਹਿਣ ਤੇ. ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਇਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. Please listen to it very carefully. It's very easy to make jokes about it, but we are talking serious stuff here. From the first week of March onwards, South Australia and NSW is going to start with the invitations only for 190. South Australia is going to issue invitations for 190 and 491. Now, I'm just giving you information about the information that is published by the states. I'm not claiming that everyone will get it, okay? So, I think those who have some nasty comments can kind of stay away from this. How much time is it taking to get 491 right now? I already told you, up to about 28 months. What about technical sales representative? For 491, yes, this occupation is in demand. Of course, it's a non-priority occupation, but if your occupation is listed on a state, and once the professional occupations offshore start getting invitations, you can expect a nomination. I applied for the EOI at the age of 31st after 32 the marks will be cut down automatically. Ma'am, please clear out. No. So this is how it works. When you turn 32, the day you celebrate your 32nd birthday and start your 33rd year, that is the time when 5 points will be reduced, not before that. I'm a software developer with almost 9 years of experience with my occupation. When will I get Australia PR and how much percentage of possibility? Look, when you ask me question, when will I get it? I'm not the DHA. I'm not the State Department. I cannot answer it for you. I can only communicate the information that is available in the public domain by the states. So, software, a lot of IT professionals' occupations have already been lodged by us in NT through the direct application process. Now, in case you did not do that, now you have to wait for an invitation by the state. And like I've been saying, in the first week of March, at least South Australia and NSW are going to start with the invitation rounds. What is the validity of the EOI? It is 2 years. Once your EOI is about to expire, you will get a notification from the DHA that your EOI is going to expire, and that is the time when you should relodge your EOI. Ma'am, after nominations, how much time it takes for visa grant? Like I said, right now it is taking painfully long, to be very honest. When the applicants applied for the visas mostly in 2023, the estimated processing time was 7 months. At that time, we did not have any clue that it could go up to as high as 28 months. Similarly, we never know that processing time may even come down to 6 or 7 months, but we do know that the DHA is working at bringing down its processing time. How much time is it taking to get for? Okay, I already answered that. Hi, ma'am. Could you please suggest initial entry date on 190 depends on what is it last PCC date or medical validity date? Neither of the two. Your initial entry date is mentioned on your visa grant letter, and it is 1 year, 12 months from the date of the grant of your visa. I'm trying to check if there's anything I missed. I'm okay, I already answered that. Ma'am, vetassess skills assessment valid for how many years? 3 years. And now the vetassess has started even writing on their outcome letter very specifically that the assessment is valid for 3 years. Ma'am, in 2025, the rounds were conducted very late due to lots of changes, but for the next time, it will be same or it will be started soon in July. See, as per my personal analysis, I see a lot of change in the skills assessment body assessment criteria. And I'm guessing the reason why the nominations have been kind of slow for the last year and this year is because they wanted the skills assessments to come through after a vigorous scrutiny. So, since the skills assessments that are being received now are scrutinized and verified very well, we expect the bulk invitations to start. Is there any chance, as my occupation is non-priority, technically I already answered that. Hello, ma'am. What is the probability of getting nomination as insurance agent? So yes, insurance agents at 70 points have no problem in getting an invitation, but make sure you've lodged an EOI for the state where your occupation is in demand. Hello, ma'am. NT 491. Any update for hairdresser nomination? Okay, so now NT has already closed its direct application program, but hairdressers who have lodged their applications, the NT had also clarified that it will start processing offshore applicants from February onwards, and from February onwards, the applications are already being processed. If the NT needs any further information from you, they will communicate that, and we expect that by probably March and April or May, definitely, you should have your nomination decision. Ma'am, I have applied for private tutor 491. I'm having teaching experience of 11 years. Should I also get skills assessment as secondary school teacher also, or wait for private tutor 91? So I'm assuming that you've lodged your visa with the DHA. So if you've lodged it, I don't see why you want to go ahead and apply for a secondary school teacher. Besides, the eligibility criteria for a secondary school teacher is very, very tough. You need to have a B.Ed with 45 days of practical teacher training, and you need to have IELTS academic with 7 bands in 2 specific sections and 8 bands in another 2 specific sections. Thank you, ma'am, for providing such clear answers to my question. You're most welcome. ICT, okay, my IT team is nudging me. I'll just take this last one. ICT BA Victoria Skill Partner, 3 years. This is a very mathematical question. Please, you can just email me at inquiries@caanwings.com, and I will get back to you on this. I'm not able to figure out this math right now. Anything else I have missed? No, I think that's about it. Thank you so much for participating, and I will appreciate serious questions coming through, so that I know a lot of you have about the same questions and the answers that you're looking for. Yes, there are some people who just want to kind of, kind of act a little smart. That is not really appreciated. This is a platform where people are deeply concerned about their skilled migration. And please keep your questions limited to the clarifications that you are seeking. Hello, ma'am. What is the probability of getting nomination as a production manager? 65 points. Very good. Possibility. Production managers are always somehow the favorite occupations for all states. So yes, you can expect it. Okay. All right. So thank you, guys. Thank you very much. And I appreciate these questions. I appreciate your taking the time, and in future, please write down all your questions, so that we have a variety of questions that we can cover, so that this session can be useful to as many people as possible. I'll see you again next fortnight. Until then, bye-bye and take care.